Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be working on the white truck, specifically the brakes on the white truck. So ever since I bought this truck, the brakes have been crappy, but the ABS has not worked. I've had the lights been on since I bought it. It's thrown a lot of codes for basically shorted out system on everything. Like all the sensors are shorted out, pumps shorted out, all these codes for stuff being shorted out. So today we're going to look at that, fixing it. But the problem is I only have front brakes. The back brakes don't work at all. So we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure out what to do about it. We're going to diagnose the ABS EBCM. Pretty sure the EBCM is shot. We're going to diagnose that. We're going to test it. If it is, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do about it. So we go to the truck. Turn the key on. All of our lights come on, of course. So as you can see, ABS light stays on. Doesn't go away. Now my security light is on because I have a tuned computer and they tuned the security out. So that stays on now, but what we're focused on today is the anti-lock ABS light. So the light never goes out, ever. It stays on 24/7. So I hooked the scan tool up to it and I got the codes. Now I've been getting the same codes for the last 2.5 years every time I hook it up. I've actually ran a functional test on the ABS pump and it passed somehow. I don't know how, because it keeps saying shorted everything. So I'm gonna put a video up of all the codes it's throwing. I'm gonna show some other pictures throughout the 2.5 years that every time I pull the codes, what they said. So I'm gonna put that in the video right now. Alright, I'll have to unplug the old edge monitor here. Plug in the old snap-on. Build a vehicle here. So we're having problems with the brake. I've had problems since I bought the truck. The ABS hasn't worked. So it keeps saying pump motor relay circuit shorted, pump motor locked or circuit shorted. Now these, I've already tested the wiring to going from the ABS pump, from the EBCM. I've already tested the wires going from them to the speed sensors, and both wheel bearings and speed sensor have been replaced, and it's still throwing codes for it. So that means there's going to be a fault in the EBCM. And then these pump motors, I'm going to show y'all something there. We're going to test it. We're going to test that. So far, what I've come up with is the EBCM is no good. So we're going to get out of here. Well, let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's all. Oh no, EBCM internal fault, ABS indicator lamp circuit short to battery. Now these might have just popped up because I unplugged the EBCM 2 days ago with the truck on. So it probably just threw those codes.
So we're gonna get out of here and I'm gonna do a functional test. Trouble codes are set to, I forgot, hold on a second. Gotta clear the codes. Now, the codes stay. So when you turn the truck off and you come back, turn the truck on, the ABS light's already on, it stays on, never goes off. Yeah, now it won't do it. Before I was able to do it. So let's see here, let's see what codes are still here. Wheel speed sensor. So there's no problems with the wheel speed sensor. Let's see if it'll clear. No, it won't clear. Okay. Obviously it's not gonna let me do this then. I did it the other day just fine. And it passed. I guess it's going to left front wheel speed sensor circuit open or shorted to ground / battery positive. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But it keeps throwing shorted codes for everything. Pump, all speed sensors, so. And I've done tested the wiring and I'm about to show you how I tested it and show you what I came up with about why the EBCM is the problem. But what we're going to test today, so I've already tested the wires for the speed sensors. So both wheel bearings and speed sensors have been replaced, and I've gone checked the wiring that goes from the EBCM to the sensors, and all of it's good. None of it's shorted out or anything. So what we're going to test today is there's two connectors. There's the main power connector, power and ground connector right here, and then there's a connector beside it for the pump motor. We're going to test that connector, going to the pump motor, we're going to test the motor, make sure it's good. If it's good, then we're going to test this connector. There's two different tests we're going to do on this connector. And if all three of those tests pass, then this right here, EBCM, is no good. It's shot. So we're going to have to replace this whole ABS system. We can replace just the EBCM, but I'm pretty sure this whole thing is shot because nothing works. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and unhook. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's a little connector right here. It's right here. You gotta unplug that. It's right here. Alright. Now I gotta put y'all somewhere y'all can see. Alright, so we're gonna unplug that connector back here. Might have to get a little flathead screwdriver. Alright, I got that connector unplugged. Okie dokie, so I got that connector unplugged. So what we're going to do is we're going to test the ohm resistance on this motor, on these two connector pins. We're going to test the ohm resistance. It should be between 0.1 and 1 ohm. If it's anything lower or higher, then this pump shot, or the motor shot. So get y'all set back up here. I'm going to set the multimeter right here, so hopefully y'all can read it. That's set to ohms. Where my screwdriver? See if I can set everything up. Alright, there you go. Now, I hook up to this connector here. Alright, so we got 0.2 ohms. So that's perfectly within spec. Gotta be between 0.1 and 1 ohm. So that tells us right there the pump motor is fine. So now we'll plug that back in. And we'll move on to our next connector, which is the power connector. This connector right here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to hook one end. We're going to check the ohm resistance on the ground. So we're going to hook one end to the ground pin on this connector, and then we're going to hook the other end to the ground on the battery. There we go. 1.2 ohms. So that's good. We have no problems with our ground wire. No breaks in our ground anywhere or bad connection. So now we are going to test the power on this connector when we turn the truck on. So there should be anything over 10 volts is considered good. So if we have over 10 volts, when I turn the key on, then so we're showing 11 volts. Now it's dropping because my glow plugs are activating, but it's showing over 10 volts, so that means it's getting proper voltage. So now that we have tested we've done all three tests on these connectors, that means that this EBCM is no good according to service manual. If these three tests pass, and this is for the pump shorted, pump grounded, pump locked code. So according to that, if all three tests pass and it's still showing that code, then this EBCM is no good. So now that we have established that the EBCM is no good, we've established that our sensors and our wiring going from all the sensors to the EBCMs are good, but it's still throwing codes for shorted out sensors. This EBCM is no good. Get y'all flipped around there. Alright, so now we've come to the problem of we got to replace this whole thing. And here's the problem. So back in 2020, they discontinued this whole system. The EBCM and pump and motor and whatnot, they discontinued all this. Now you can still get parts for it, but 95% of the parts are discontinued. So the only parts you can get is like this piece right here, the sensor right there, I think a couple little screws, but everything else is discontinued. So finding these, you have to get them, buy them used off eBay or junkyard, and I cannot find. So like you have different, all these ABS systems for this year model are all different. So like you got, mine's a diesel, so, and it's hydro boost, so depending on your powertrain package and brake package, you're gonna have a different type of ABS system. So they're not interchangeable. Now the problem with this is this whole thing is encased in epoxy. So if you try to take this apart, like the whole bottom end, you see that black stuff right there? That's all epoxy. There's no way of fixing this, I don't think. I could be wrong, but from what I've heard, the whole thing's encased in epoxy, and if you take it apart, you're gonna mess up more than you're gonna fix. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna delete this ABS pump. And the way I'm gonna do that is we're going to take the ABS out, obviously, this whole system, and put in a combination valve in place of this. So now when you do this test, like when you unplug the power and you turn to test the power and you turn your ignition on, it's going to immediately throw codes for the EBCM because it's not getting power. So it's going to be like, hey, this thing's not working. So just keep that in mind when you do that. So also, I think there's a purple wire in here somewhere. This one right here. I believe the purple wire is the security wire. So your security actually runs through this EBCM and then goes back to the computer. So if you unplug this or delete this system, your car's not going to start because it's got the security runs through it. So if it's not plugged in, it's not gonna start. Your security's gonna be like, hey, there's a problem. So I don't have that problem because I have my security tuned out. So if I unplug this, which I don't think I'm gonna get it. There we go. Okay, so free unplug every last one of these wires. All the wires are unplugged. Let me get this pressure sensor. Not that I need to unplug the pressure sensor, but I'm gonna unplug it. All right, so all that's unplugged. Everything's unplugged from the module. Now, theoretically, if you had a security system, your car will not start. As you can see, mine starts. Now, security lights on. Now, I don't have any brake lights or anything now. That's cool. But security lights on, like I said, because I have it tuned for PCM, and they tune the security out on it, so the light stays on. They say you can pull a fuse. I pull a fuse, but the light still stays on. But yeah. Truck runs without the ABS hooked up. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the combination valve and everything put out. I'm going to show y'all exactly what all I'm going to do. So basically, we're just going to go from the master cylinder to the combination valve, and then to hook the front brake lines and rear brake line to the combination valve. And this combination valve I got, here's my combination valve I picked up. It is a Dix drum combination valve. I will be replacing it down the road with the disc combination valve, just because we got this thing right here. So Dana Super 70 rear end disc brakes. We're going to be replacing with our rear end that's in the truck now. So we'll no longer have drums, we'll have discs. But also I have other plans with the brake system, like 2011 Hydro Boost and master cylinder. But anywho, today we're worried about this. Now, this combination valve actually has a metering valve in the front to allow holds off pressure to the front brakes to allow the back brakes to apply first, and then it applies pressure to the front brakes. And then it has a little valve in the center, so if there's a leak in the front system or the rear system, it'll block that side off. That way you still have brakes. And then it's got a proportioning valve in the back, so due to hard braking situations, it'll control the pressure going to the back brakes to allow keep them from locking up under hard braking conditions. So this is the combination valve I'm going to be using. Now, I was going to use, so I got this set up right here off of a 94 K3500 I had, and I was just going to use this one. But one, I have no idea how old it is or if it even works. So I decided against that and just bought a new one. So anywho, basically what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect these lines from the master cylinder. I'm going to cut the line, get these fittings off because I need these fittings. And then we're going to put those, cut this line, replace this small fitting with the master cylinder fitting. And put that fitting on, reflare it, and install it. And we'll have to do that on both. I believe we'll have to do that on both these connectors. And then we're going to hook up all of these three up here. These three lines right here. So these two lines on the bottom go to the master cylinder. We're going to get rid of those lines. But these three lines right here are going to hook up to the combination valve for the outlets. So the two front outlets are going to hook up to the two outlets right here for the front brakes, and there's one outlet on the back here that's for the back brakes. We're going to hook that, where's it at, the back brake down here. This is the back brake, this is to the front brake, so we're going to hook this one up to the back right there. Now this thing only costed like 60 bucks. Now if you spend an extra $20, it comes with the two lines going to the master cylinder. It comes with a bracket to mount on the Hydro Boost right there between the Hydro Boost and the master cylinder. It comes with a bracket for that. Or not between it, but like on the outside of the master cylinder there. And my camera's acting up, hold on. So in here, if you spend the extra $20, it comes with the two inlet lines going to the master cylinder. It comes with the bracket, and it comes with the wiring harness for the switch, pressure switch here. Brake light switch, what are you gonna call it? So I didn't spend the extra $20 to do that. I just bought the combination valve itself, then I bought the wiring harness separately. I have a bracket, but I don't believe it's gonna work. Plus, I was just gonna make my own lines because I'm pretty sure the lines it comes with ain't the right fittings for my master cylinder. It could have been, but I don't know. So for right now, because I am planning on replacing this down the road with the disc one. When I order the disc one, I'll get the one with the bracket and everything. But for right now, we're just gonna mount it right here. And I think the bracket I got, I can at least bolt it to one of these holes, not both, but one. So that's what we're gonna do. And that's how we're gonna delete the ABS. We're just gonna take the ABS out and put this combination valve in its place. Alrighty guys, so ABS is deleted and the combination valve is all in. Now I gotta take this little switch out, put the tool in so I can bleed the brakes. If you don't, that valve will move when you go to crack the line open, and it'll shut off that line, so you won't be able to bleed the brakes. So I gotta put the tool in, bleed the brakes, and then figure out which one of these wires goes to the light on the dash. Wire that in, plug it in right here so that light will work if there's a problem with the pressure on the brake system. But yeah, and we'll come back. I gotta actually go to the store and get some brake fluids. I think I'm out. But yeah, this is the ABS pump. Old Kelsey Hayes here. And if you look right here where these two connectors go in, all this right here is epoxy. And they say like the whole inside of this is filled with epoxy. I'm not sure if that's true, but either way, it doesn't work. So, and all the stuff on here is discontinued, so you can't buy parts for it no more. So yeah, these are all the ones I cut off. All the fittings I didn't use, all the old fittings. These are all the ones I cut off. I'm missing one still. I don't know where it's at. But all right, guys. So it's completely done now. ABS is deleted. I got the combination valve in, and everything is working great. I actually got a really firm pedal now. The truck stops amazingly. I had to adjust the rear drums, the rear brakes. I had to adjust them. I jacked it up. I kind of turned it in my hand. The driver's side's grabbing. Passenger side isn't really grabbing. I'm not sure what's going on there. Both wheel cylinders have been replaced. It bled it, and there's no air in it. It bleeds pretty good. It's a steady stream that comes out. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I'm not really worried about it because the truck brakes extremely better, way better. Pedals way better. The only thing I got a problem with right now is this lid is leaking. There's a brake fluid all over the master cylinder shooting out of this. I guess this is a breather or relief or whatever. I don't know if I overfilled it or what, but it shot a bunch of fluid out, so I gotta clean that off. But nothing's leaking on here. I did have a problem with this brake line right here leaking when I first installed it. So I just grabbed another brake line and ran it down to the driver's front wheel brake hose, and so I'll just pull this hose out. But it works great. I mean, it's great now. This is 100% success, and that thing's fucking annoying. An AC compressor or AC unit. Anywho, every time I want to make a video, that thing kicks on. Nobody lives here. I'm not even sure why it's running. Ain't nobody lived here for like, I don't know, 3 months. Anywho, truck is a lot better now. So, and we got this pile of crap right here. Might use that as a huh?
Spare?
No, I might use that as a tire chuck.
Oh.
I feel like that'd be a great tire chuck. You know, you put that on the ground on your tire, the truck ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? That's all it's great. That's all it's good for. I know it doesn't look very clean right now, but this is just temporary because I really need to get my brakes fixed because it's been like that for 2.5 years. But it was time. It was starting to get really bad. So
This is just temporary. Now when I do the rear axle with the disc brakes, I obviously have to change this out. So when I go to change it out, you know, I'll get the one with the bracket and the 2 lines, and I'll redo this whole, all these brake lines and everything, make it look clean and everything. So I'm not really worried about what it looks like right now, as long as it's functional. I'm not worried about it right now. This mash cylinder hydrant boost is getting replaced with a 2011 2500 style. So I'll do a video on that. I'll do a video on putting the Dana 70 Super in the rear. So the Dana Super 70, it's actually wider. It's like 5 inches wider than this axle. So I have 2.5-inch wheel spacers on either side to keep the tires spaced out. And really, it's still not spaced out enough, but the front actually sticks out further in the back. But anywho, the Dana Super 70, it's 5 inches wider. It's also got disc brakes in the back, and some other stuff that's better than this axle. So when I go to replace it, I'll do a video on that. But anywho, for now, it works 10 times better than with ABS, so I'm happy.